Welcome back, folks, to the World Cats Cup tournament discussion. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. I figure this one was definitely unique enough that we should do it. In a few reasons. We'll get into it in a little bit here. So the World Cats Cup, if you guys watch the live stream, what I wanted to happen exactly did not happen. Last year I made it on Qualifier 3, or Qualifier 1 at Michigan. So Qualifier 1, just to reiterate for you guys, Qualifier 1 was at Michigan, Qualifier 2 is Standard Bangersea, and Qualifier 3 is Quanchkin Lake uh, for the Flatheads. Semifinals are Marin River for them big catfish down there, and the Paramba at the Amazon for the finals. So my goal this year is I wanted to fish Qualifier 3 because the Flatheads are a lot of fun. Qualifier 3 is a blast. All three of these qualifiers are kind of different in their own reasons, and if you know what to do in each of them, this is the one tournament. While I do really like this for this reason, guys, this is the only qualify tournament where all the qualifiers are way different than each other um, with game mechanics. It's the only tournament I can think of that actually does that. So I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here. Qualifier 3, we'll pop into here for a second. Qualifier 3, if you go on details, is blue catfish and brown bullheads. If you had a brown bullhead in your bag, you did very badly. Just letting you know, if you were fishing bullheads, you didn't do that well. However, this one was based very much around the fact of could you get a unique or not if you knew the unique and the trophy timers. So for the blue catfish, they are a half an hour. None of the 6 spots that I had overlapped. You could get 2 trophies and 1 unique in every position in a half an hour. Now, that one is very unique because you had to know respawn timers, what overlapped, one didn't. So that was pretty cool. And I made it on that one, like I did last year. I have a curse of Michigan where I almost always make it on Michigan, so I don't ever get to do the other qualifiers. But my goal was to fish these two. They were fun. And again, I don't care about semifinals and finals. You guys know that recently. And I ended up being in both of them again. Didn't do overly well, but it was fun. We'll get more into that too here in a second. So, qualifier 2, completely different deal here. We'll pop into it. So, how is qualifier 2 different than all the other ones? Well, oversized fishing. So if you guys know, these only get to 87, 88 pounds normally, 94. You can see some 91s. Last year we had the biggest fish in our group with Shot hitting like a 98. I had a 102 in practice. There was a 99 here. Um, Now, this one was really intricate because it wasn't like oversized fishing like normal. You're not necessarily going for the oversized. You want them, of course, but it's more about pulling the catfish in quicker, and that's what spotting was. So you had a very unique thing in that. And then qualifier 3 was way different than the other ones because Louisiana's respawn timer is basically non-existent. So it either doesn't exist or you can catch so many that it doesn't matter. So at one point this year, I caught 5 in a row out of the same spot. So basically, it's rapid fire, free for all, and finding your best spots at Louisiana. So they're very all three different, when you think about it. And I really like that in this tournament. Now, I'll talk about some stuff I don't like, but the one thing I really did like is if you look at these as a whole, they were all three different. Depending on your fishing style, you might have liked one over the other. I liked all three. I liked the setup for all three. I know a lot of people don't spot. I think 2 is going to be the least popular because either people love oversized fishing or don't like it. I like it. I don't think it's a very good mechanic, but I do like it. It is interesting. Um, but in any qualifier. One was knowing your spots and respawn timers, and qualifier 3 was mostly about finding spots where you could rapid fire fish out and using the right size hook. So definitely all three were really unique in their own form. But then the semifinals and finals. So last year, guys, as you know, I practiced winning scores last year in the semifinals. Went into the semifinals, did catch a fish, like a unique or trophy for 2 hours. Sometimes it is not your day no matter what you do. I actually did the same exact thing this year and had no problems. Just some days you're going to do it, some days you're not. But you got to really, have your spots and locations down. And one thing I want to say about the semis and finals, and I didn't do very good. I made it to the finals and I got like ninth, basically middle pack. I don't care how I do in these things anymore, but I will say it was really fun to fight fish again. I hadn't done it, so if you guys remember, I made the guide for leveling up, like kind of without premium or anything like that, or just kind of plain Jane as you level up. I put all the links in one video a while ago. Now, since then, it's been a while since I fought fish. A lot we fish out of you get so used to fishing out of a boat, you forget what fun it is to actually fight a fish. And going for 160, 170 pound catfish at Marin River was a lot of fun to actually fight them. And then again for the Pramba here in the finals. It was just a lot of fun to actually fight fish. It was something I was surprised about because I did not really care about the semifinals or look forward to them, but I was completely wrong. It was fun to fight fish again. Whether I did bad or not, was fortunate enough to actually get the biggest fish in the entire tournament at 304, which is pretty cool. But it wasn't that. Just fun fighting fish. Even the trophies and common Parambas fought like the Dickens. And I think sometimes when I get so used to being efficient, when you worry about pulling out fish as quick as you can, that when you have to sit and fight them, it's kind of a fun little journey to do again. But anyway, the one downside to this tournament, it's a pretty big downside, and it's a reason why I didn't want to make the semifinals or finals. I can't. The other thing is with semifinals and finals, if you're wondering, I can't really help people. I can help. Like here, I think. Geez, well, it says 539. I know we had for a fact well over 700 people in that tournament. I can help 700 people on that qualifier when I stream or make a guide for each one of these, which I always do. In the semis and finals, there's not a lot of many people I'm going to be helping. I do still stream them anyway, but that's why I'm not as excited about them. I'm going to be able to help you guys more in the qualifiers and the semifinals and finals because the majority people, there's a lot less people in these two. And once you get, especially to the finals, you've obviously learned enough to know how to do it on your own anyway. But these things, guys, I'm going to go in here. X Series 4.0 leader. So that was for all the qualifiers in the top three. We'll go to the semifinals. It may take a second to load, but the basic point I'm getting at is these rewards were terrible. I think this was an X Series 4 hook. The game is not loading super quick, obviously, the deals. But let's see if we can go into look at the finals. But that was really the biggest issue here. That's the semifinals. So the X Series 4 hook. It says finals at the top, but that's what loaded in for. That was actually the semifinals. Now for the finals, it'll reload in, and I'll give it a second here when it popped. Oh, it already popped up. Okay, never mind. Not great. Listen, I know it's cool to have some different X Series stuff. And I don't want to rip too hard on Fishing Planet for this because you got to have the tournaments where there's different things in it, like the catapult, or the hat, or whatever it is. But for a lot of people, there's not a lot in here. So the X Series Frogman, if I'm not mistaken, is a Casadora 10-2. Not a bad pull, but there's no reel with it. I don't ever use a catapult. So to have an X Series one of them is pretty pointless to me. The hat, I already have the tournament hats from winning the other tournaments, and I have like three of them I really like, so that's not a big deal. And these other hooks and sinkers and bobbers, not really. When you compare it to the some of the other stuff that is, let's see if we can go to another. Um, let's even just go to the pike. I don't even think the pike was that good, but if you look, I'm pretty sure the rewards on it were a lot better in just comparison. And that's kind of the downfall of it. Now, obviously, the rewards can't be great for every tournament. They got to mix in different X Series gear because if the same X Series stuff came up, well, for example, in the boat series last year, I got the X Series boat. Um, in I understand. So, like, even this one, at least there's some lures in there and a rod case, if that's what you're into, but at least there's some lures in there, something different that aren't just hooks or stuff. Uh, that's always a opinion though. Like, some people might really want the crap out of them X Series 12 hooks I got this weekend. Me, not so much. I don't really notice a difference on X Series hooks versus non X Series hooks, but that's just me. So go for what you want, but yeah, the only downside I saw to the Cats final or the Cats tournament, the only downside I really feel now to that was the rewards, but it's not a bad tournament overall, especially the qualifiers. I super enjoy the qualifiers. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think of that World Cats Cup, and I'll see you next time, folks.